I don't know what happened in the upload process, but for some reason, the video about going from frenemy to best friend with my body got cut short in the upload process. So I am posting part 2, the remainder of sharing all that I learned from my mirror detox and how the whole process transformed me in general. So enjoy. And by the end of the mirror detox, I don't know if I fully unlearned the policing, but I definitely felt a lot more love and a lot more appreciation for my body than I had previously. This was really, really profound and really beautiful, I'd say. Like, yeah, there was just this sweetness. I felt really tender. I felt really, yeah, this tender love for my body that I hadn't felt, I don't know, in my memory. Yeah, I think all the way back to like middle school, even before that, like I think women and men also learn to really criticize their bodies and be perpetually unhappy with them. And something about covering up all the mirrors really helped kickstart or detoxify all this negativity that had been stored up over my 30 plus years of life. So yeah, there's definitely still some lingering judgment. It's something I'm gonna have to keep practicing. And also the amount of love that I felt at the end of the detox was really, really sweet and really special. Now, this is the fun part, the things that I did not predict to come from this mirror detox. The first day, it was really pronounced that once I had the mirrors covered up, I felt so relieved. It was crazy. I almost felt like there was this absence of like the bigger brother watching you, which I know is weird because in a mirror, I'm the one watching myself. But when I covered them all up, there was just this like lightness and relief and freedom of, I don't have to judge myself. Oh my gosh, I don't have to go critique myself. Oh my gosh, I don't have to do this thing of like policing my body. And it was so profound and liberating. And I just wish I could bottle up that feeling and take it with me forever. It was really, really cool. That was probably one of the most interesting and unpredicted side effects of the mirror detox. The other piece is kind of connected to this policing bit that I was talking about before. Like, I am very much a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist in recovery, I like to say. I didn't realize how much I applied my perfectionism to my body. I identified with being a perfectionist at work, being a perfectionist in school, being a perfectionist in my home, all that kind of stuff. But it never dawned on me that I am also a perfectionist with my body. And that's kind of an impossible task because bodies are not made to be perfect, and they all have these really unique elements to them that are completely outside of our beauty standards and beauty norms. And I would police my body as a form of my perfectionism. And that really, I think, broke my heart and made me really sad that I felt so confined in body perfectionism that would result in me then policing, critiquing, and judging my body. That honestly unlocked this kind of new playfulness that I feel and experience with my body. And I'll actually backtrack a little bit. There were a few days where I went out into the world without looking at a mirror. And I mean, that was pretty unnerving for my perfectionist self. Like, it's hard to be a perfectionist regardless, but it's especially hard to be a perfectionist when you have curly hair, because sometimes your curls are doing some crazy things. And I definitely know that I was trying to be a perfectionist and controlling my hair and making it go in a particular way, and also not having makeup on my face and using mirrors to make sure that everything was in its perfect place. But on those days that I went out into the world without looking at a mirror, I couldn't do any of that. And it was kind of scary. It was also kind of liberating. Like, what I kept telling myself is like, I'm gonna be okay. I might have crazy makeup on my face. I might have curls going off in a gazillion different directions. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna survive. It'll be okay. And I mean, that is probably where perfectionism comes from, right? Of like needing everything to be perfect. Otherwise, your world falls apart or you feel like you're gonna fall apart. And I think something about this mirror detox actually helped me unlearn some of my perfectionism and helped me realize that I will survive even if I don't look perfectly or if I'm not a perfect person. And that was also another unexpected but beautiful unlock from the whole mirror detox process. Then there was also kind of this interesting thing where I didn't realize how I was relating to my body through narratives that I hold about my body rather than through my actual body. So what I mean by that is there's a day when I was taking a shower and I was, I don't know, rubbing soap on my arms. And I was like, oh, wow, these are my arms. And what's funny is that's not surprising. Yes, these are my arms. But before, I think when I had my mirrors uncovered and I'm seeing them all the time, I also was living in these narratives about, oh, my arms aren't good enough. My arms are this. My arms aren't that. My arms aren't strong enough. They're not toned enough. They're not defined enough. And so when I would go to apply soap in the shower on my arms, those narratives would be more present than the actual embodied experience of having arms, which is really silly. So I realized that through the mirror detox, some of these narratives started falling away, and I was actually engaging with my body and relating to my body through living in my body. I don't know how else to say that. I'm not sure if that makes 100% sense, but it was really beautiful to be less in my head with the stories about my body and be more in the felt experience of being embodied. Yeah, this was probably the most unexpected piece. During the course of the 7 days of my mirror detox, I had this like kind of breakdown, which surprisingly was about how competitive I feel with other women. And at face value, I'm like, wait, why would that come up around my mirror detox? Wouldn't it be something about my self-image? Wouldn't it be something about my relationship with my body? Why is it about competitiveness with other women? And when I think about it, it actually does kind of make sense. Like we treat ourselves like we treat other people. And I am competitive with other women, and I'm also really competitive with myself. And I think there's this additional piece of culture, society pinning women against each other and doing it largely by policing looks. That is like breaks my heart. I feel emotional even saying that. Like we learn to take other women down by judging and critiquing their bodies. And we also do the same thing to ourselves. It's heartbreaking. And it makes me want to be better. It makes me want to be different. It makes me want to be less competitive with myself, less competitive with other women, more accepting of myself, more accepting of other women. And yeah, bringing that love and compassion to myself and others as well, and our bodies. Whew, that's a heavy one. Probably to be unpacked further on another day. So, in conclusion, there were a few final lessons I wanted to share from the mirror detox that are still sitting with me a few months after it's happened. I think I did this in August, and I'm now recording this video in October. And one existential lesson I learned is that we do exist even if we can't see our reflections in the mirror. It seems really simple, but on that first day of the mirror detox, when all the mirrors were covered, I was like, wait, do I exist? Like, am I alive? Am I real? Like, without seeing myself, I was so used to seeing myself as a way of confirming, yes, I'm alive, I exist, I'm a person. But what's funny is like we haven't had mirrors for all of existence, so they're a pretty new thing. And I really did learn through this process that yes, I exist, and I don't need a mirror to confirm that. I actually need my body, my sensations, my lived experience to confirm that, not my appearance, not my reflection. Second big lesson for me is that we will survive even when we aren't perfect. We will survive when we don't look perfect. We will survive when we don't act perfectly. And that's a beautiful thing. For me, this piece has really been alive and has stayed with me throughout the last few months. I feel so much more playful in my body, more playful with my appearance, more playful with how I show up in the world. I think because of what I learned during this mirror detox. When we think that we need to be perfect to survive, then we don't have any space for making mistakes. We don't have any space for imperfection. We don't have any space for messing up, which means that we live in this tight little box of perfectionism, and boy, it gets stuffy in there. It's so much more fun to get outside of the box and get comfortable with being imperfect and being okay with playing and making mistakes and picking yourself back up again. Having someone tell you that you have spinach in your teeth because you didn't look in a mirror, and then just getting it out, and it's gonna be okay. It's fine. You will survive. I know I'm giving mirrors a bad rap here. I don't want to suggest that they are the toxic thing. I think, in fact, it's our beauty standards that we live in that are probably the toxic thing, and mirrors get taken over by the system to be used as a way to confine and police our bodies. But I think mirrors can also be a way to deepen our embodiment. So I think that they can be a tool for good, they can be a tool for policing, and our job is to be intentional about how we are using mirrors and use them as an opportunity to love on ourselves, celebrate our incarnation in this lifetime, our physical incarnation in this lifetime. Finally, the biggest takeaway from this experience has been that I deeply, deeply, deeply want to be my body's best friend. I don't want to be my body's police. I don't want to be my body's frenemy. I don't want to be a distant acquaintance. Like, I want to be my body's best friend, lover, partner, ally, champion. And what I think that looks like is action, embodied action. Our bodies don't speak with words. Our bodies don't speak with thoughts. Our bodies speak with action and sensation. That is their love language. And so I want to speak the love language of my body and show up for my body as her best friend on a daily basis. And I think for me, that looks like tender touch. That looks like wearing my favorite clothes that make me feel good and allow me to breathe. That looks like cooking delicious meals for myself that are nutritious, and not using movement or exercise as punishment, but using movement and exercise as a way to deepen my relationship with my body and celebrate my body, feel good in my body. If you've made it this far, thank you for tuning in to this little summary of my lessons from my mirror detox. If you want to do one yourself, I will link a video with the instructions of how I did a mirror detox, all of the details in the description below. And I am just so grateful to be walking this path of curiosity and returning to our bodies together. I'm really, really glad you're here. If you'd like to stick around for more embodiment practices, more embodiment experiments, then please like and subscribe this video. I will be releasing new videos, new practices on a bi-weekly basis. So please stick around. I'd love to have you. Until next time. Mwah.